welcome to The Mediators. I'm your host, Brody, and with me is our co-host, Brock, today. And Brock, what are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about media. No, I'm messing. No, today, I was actually, driving, and I was thinking about some of the recent movies that have come out.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a common theme with animation, or you would even say CGI, for real
Okay,
now,
yeah.
where they are now trying to make everything more lifelike. So my head started spinning.
Okay.
My head started spinning this way. What is better when it comes to CGI? Do you want more lifelike animation / CGI, or would you like more of the cartoonish? For example, let's talk about some cartoon versus lifelike CGI.
Okay.
Would be Lion King.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Okay, are you talking about the remake one?
Yes.
Okay, the
yes,
remake. Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
where they try to go hyper realistic.
And then you could even say, go back down to the cartoon version of Lion King, or you said, the new Pinocchio movie that's come out. That's more of like a cartoon-esque kind. Which one more draws onto which one's better? Which one has the pluses, and what's the pros and cons? I'll let you kick off this.
Okay, so I think of a couple things. One is if you do it right, it can work.
Yes.
I think of Avatar.
Okay.
We get in the Way of Water. We're getting the sequel, and that one it looks really good from what we've seen so far. Even the first one looked pretty good.
It was pretty good.
And even though it was like real people, and then there was like crazy outlandish stuff, it still felt more or less like well done.
Right.
And then I think of Lion King, and it took. And I think when you're having something that you're remaking, you're having a standard that you're comparing everything against.
Yeah.
So you're seeing there's no really emotion. I think that was a big complaint, was the emotion in the faces and everything. And then on the other side of that, I look at Pinocchio, the new remake.
Yeah.
And they went more cartoonish with when he was a puppet and then moving around. And it felt out of place for me in that movie. I only watched about half. I couldn't make it through the whole movie, gonna be honest.
Was it bad?
It was bad, and it was just as scary almost. All right, so I don't like the first one either, like the Pleasure Island.
Oh where we started transforming
the donkey stuff.
Yeah.
It was just as terrifying in the live action, and I turned it off there. I was just like, nah, I'm not doing this. It was So I was just looking at the puppet from what I saw, and then the cricket was fine. Jimmy Cricket was fine.
Yeah.
The fox, everything was okay.
Yeah.
But I saw what they did when they went the full cartoon.
Yeah.
In CGI, I would say it almost works better in some circumstances.
Right.
And so my stance out of all that is go more cartoonish when you're remaking a cartoon.
Yes.
And then go more realistic if you're doing a brand new independent thing.
Yeah.
And you can make it look good.
So I'll counterpoint, because I actually think the best one that we've seen when it's come to lifelike CGI in recent and let's stay on the Disney vein.
Yeah.
I actually think the Beauty and the Beast remake, how their character design, it was lifelike, but there was enough of a cartoon hint of it that where you're not sitting there okay, this isn't bad, but it's lifelike,
I can see that.
Yeah, and then even if you want to even take in what was the other one that I was thinking of? Aladdin with Genie. The Genie character, yes, it's a cartoon, and of course, it's a made up thing. Genies aren't real, guys. All right, but even how realistic, that look to me was good, but there was enough cartoon value in there. I think you're treading on a line with the hyper realistic CGI. I think that's where it starts getting a little bit of a blurred line, because
I can see that. I think it's interesting that you brought up those two examples, because you're looking at two live action examples with mixed CGI.
Yes.
So if you had maybe that where it's a mixture of real and so it adds a bit more of a grounding to the CGI. I feel when you have a CGI character interacting with a real person.
Yes.
You're expecting the CGI to look a bit more serious, a bit more realistic. Whereas Lion King was 100%. There was no really.
No.
I'm I know they did some photo stuff, but it's most of it was the CGI. It was so.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think if you can mix it well
enough,
your brain's gonna be seeing, okay, that's real, and then my brain is supposed to be thinking, okay, that's real as well. It's that you're supposed to believe that it's real, rather than everything is fake, but you're supposed to think it's real.
You know what I'm interested in now? is a Little Mermaid movie. I am interested to see how they do a couple character mock-up and designs for the fish, like especially Flounder and Sebastian, and of course how they do not Medusa, Ursula. Like
Ursula, yeah. No, I'm very curious to see what all is going to happen.
What direction are they going to take in that? Like, what, like, how hyper realistic or how cartoonish are they going to make?
I don't have really high expectations for this. I would say Disney is more of a miss on the remakes than a hit.
The best remake probably now, in my opinion, is probably Aladdin. I think.
What's your top 5 Disney remakes? Let's go with that. We'll be
live
generous.
action.
Live action. The new ones. What are the top 5 Disney remakes of classic cartoons?
Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Or top 2.
I would agree with those.
Lion King's got to be on the top. Wait, hold on. No, I haven't seen Pinocchio. Oh, Lady and the Tramp.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It was not that bad.
And actually,
it was underrated.
That was a great mix of yet again hyper realism, but also.
Well, I mean, they've been doing that for years. I think like Homeward Bound and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, looking back, I'm like, that animation wasn't.
It was terrible. All right, so
those stuff.
Dumbo was okay.
Okay. It was a little. It felt a little weird.
It was. Like, it was okay.
They leaned a little too far in one direction, but of course the original
Mulan's
movie was
last.
Mulan's pretty far down there. It's
to
one step below Lion King for me. I'll be honest.
Stick to the script. Like. Where were you going? Like, you had a roadmap. You didn't have to copy the roadmap. I mean, maybe you could take a turn here and there.
It was just disappointing all around.
It was terrible. It was like, was it based on closer to the source material or something like that? That Disney
there was a lot of political
away from there?
Drama going on around that film. Yeah. I'll say that. There was a lot going on.
Because that was back when it's still big, but like the China-Taiwan thing was popping off, right?
There's a lot of things going on.
Jeez.
There was a lot but it's just all in all.
So
it was a rough time for that movie.
What were some other Disney remakes that have come out? I mean, am I missing any? I mean, technically you could do.
I was like, so we have Aladdin, we have
Alice in
Cinderella,
Wonderland.
we had Alice in Wonderland, but that was more of a sequel. Like it didn't repeat the story. It did a sequel to the stories.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a sequel.
Yeah. Cinderella.
Maybe a reboot ish.
Yeah. Do you know what my favorite? It's made by Disney. It's not a remake or anything like that, but one of my favorite mixed movies, like with CGI, animation, all that stuff, was Enchanted.
Oh yeah. Hey, that sequel's coming out in November.
I'm excited for that.
That'll be fun.
I'm a low key.
I've only seen it a couple times, but it was. I remember what I was like. I liked it.
It's good.
It was very well done.
It's a good story, good plot. But
I love when they would sing and dance, and the guy would just be like, "What is happening?" That's like my favorite part.
I think my favorite part. Well, yeah, that one, the scene in the park. But my second favorite one was the Umbridge when she's cleaning the house and she's having all the animals come in and fix it. And he's in there. Why are the rats in my house? It's like
very. I was like, it felt like it was like a Disney Insider movie. Like we're making jokes about all the previous Disney princesses.
Yeah,
and you're just like, yes, thank you. Oh, it was such a fun movie all around.
Okay, so, all right, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lady and the Tramp was up there.
Yeah.
I think you can put Lion King at 5 because
Mulan's below Lion King for me.
Yeah.
So
well. I'm just trying to think. Let me just throw Pinocchio in there at 4 because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I guess.
But I hate Mulan.
I'm like, it's like Aladdin, and then I would say Beauty and the Beast, Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Then I guess Cinderella would be my next one.
When did they remake Cinderella?
It was like one of the first ones they did. It was okay.
I'm trying to remember.
It was okay.
Okay.
It was just, I mean, like they made so many Cinderella movies.
Yeah, they have. So I'm like confused.
And like in Snow White too. It's like there's so many different Snow White movies and Cinderella movies, and you're just like, all right.
Lion King.
Maybe I'm thinking of Snow White instead of Cinderella.
Did they do a Snow White remake?
No, I'm trying to think.
I have to look it up now.
Yeah, let's fact check that. Because I'm been saying Cinderella, and I'm like, maybe it was Snow White.
Okay, so. Oh, Jungle Book. Ooh, I forgot about Jungle Book. Jungle Book is pretty good.
It was okay. It was one of the better ones. I would put it above Lion King.
Ooh, Pete's Dragon.
Oh yeah, I forget. Yeah.
Cruella.
That's a spin-off. That's not a remake.
Yeah. And then Cruella's spin-off.
Mulan.
How is Mulan better than Christopher Robin? Because I actually like Christopher Robin.
Oh, that's also Christopher Robin's a spin-off as well. Or
yeah.
Sequel.
Okay, but Beauty and the
Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, Lady and the Tramp, Aladdin, Maleficent spin-off.
That's a spin-off.
The
Yeah.
Lion King, Alice in Wonderland spin-off. Yeah. Dumbo remake. Pinocchio. So I guess.
I guess they didn't do a Cinderella one. All right.
No. They did in 2015.
Okay. So they did. All right. That's what I was thinking of.
I just never saw it with Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was okay.
Whatever.
It was okay. It was like the beginning of like that remake era that they were doing.
So let me do my list.
Yes.
Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast. Then definitely Jungle Book, Lady and the Tramp, and then I would say
that's pretty fair. Yeah.
I would then have to say probably Lion King. I mean, because Lion King was still good.
It took out so much of what made the first movie good.
Yes.
Like I said, it just didn't quite land there for me for a lot of things. I think Scar's song, "Be Prepared," fell flat for me.
Oh, it was.
I think Timon and Pumbaa weren't as funny.
I've got a rant on the Lion King.
Okay, all right.
This may go into the extended edition cut. The director said, when you are doing like movies, listen to me, please, and you guys can hate on me all you want. You can copy what they did back in the 90s and have a voice actor for the person and then have a singing voice for the person.
Yeah.
Because when you try to mix Beyonce with, who was it again? Childish Gambino? Or who was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You try to mix those two together. Childish Gambino is not a bad singer. But if he's here and Beyonce's up here and they're singing a duet, it doesn't mix.
I'm learning how to choose the right.
Oh God, I'm sorry, Disney. I'm sorry, but no, please. This is what you need to do. Please, get singing actors. Like.
But he's a singer / rapper, so I guess it would have been almost insulting to have that happen. If that makes sense.
But I even look at, and this is another beside the point, is like Les Mis. Like please, like get people who can sing. Please, like we love Disney movies because of the songs. I mean, the plot's good. Don't get me wrong, plot's good. You know, storyline's good. We love it for the songs. Don't butcher it, please.
Yeah,
my
that was a big thing. It's like Mulan. They took out all the songs. That was another big miss from
Mushu too. Mushu was what. I would even debate that Mushu was probably a bigger hit than the song.
Yeah, all the comedy relief and the story, everything was it was so different, and it didn't really add anything to the character. It changed too much, and it just, oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan of that one.
Nah, it wasn't.
Definitely the worst. Definitely the worst.
It definitely... What did they have as the worst remake on here?
On your list? Who did this list?
It, of course, it's Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
But I was just looking for a reference. Let's just see what they made.
Yeah.
They have... Bro, they have Pinocchio at 20...
that's just the rating because it wasn't rated very well.
Yeah. I don't... Man.
I'm just... Alright.
Man.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
Okay, so, alright, let's take a turn then to this way. How do you feel like that CGI advancements are going? To whereas it used to be 2D, and then they were mixing 3D with, Pixar, with WALL-E, with Nemo, and, even now... They're making 3D clay models, not clay models, but 3D Big Hero 6. You're looking at
Tangled,
Tangled. So, which style is better in your opinion?
I think both have merits.
Yes.
I like the look of 2D a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's maybe a bit of a bias on it.
Yeah.
But I think the 3D can do more in some respects.
It brings it a little bit more to life.
It does. Like I said, I love the look of 2D. I know Princess and the Frog was the last 2D movie they made.
Yeah.
And it looks great. I mean, you can go back and look at a lot of 2D stuff from 10 years ago. Of course, they remastered some things, but it still holds up. A lot of it does.
That's true.
I remember watching Beauty and the Beast, the remastered one, the original cartoon.
It's good.
And it looked really great. And then I watched the TV version, which was not the remaster. I was like, ooh, okay, there were some misses on that one. So I'm glad they remastered it.
R.I.P. Mrs. Potts.
Man. But would I say one is better than the other? I think there's a lot of... I wouldn't say more character, but a little bit more of like a personal touch on 2D.
Yeah.
Because I think you get some more of those imperfections.
Yeah,
I look at it the same thing with like film and digital cameras. So
That
it's
is
like
true.
sometimes you have to recreate imperfections to match and give it what you're looking for, rather than just having a clean cut.
Yeah.
So I would say 3D, I think is we're the beginning of that. I think we're going to see it to continue to grow and do even greater things.
Oh yeah.
But I think people are still going to have to copy a little bit of what 2D did, like again imperfections and just some of the style of it, as we make our way forward with that.
I will actually even say that you will see a decline of cartoon films from here on out. I don't.
What does that mean?
Like
what do you
meaning,
mean by that?
like okay, I'm thinking about some of the recent like remakes, like okay, not remakes, but like some of the recent movies, like apparently like this La La Crocodile movie, lifelike. I mean, it's
Was
like,
live action
Yeah, it's live action
with CGI.
I think you will see more live action mixed with CGI instead of purely based CGI movies.
I disagree completely with that.
You think so?
I mean,
And-
when we say CGI, are you talking about
Like strictly CGI the entire movie?
I'm talking about like Tangled, Frozen. Are you talking about like that?
Yes.
Or are you talking about Lion King?
I don't think we're gonna see any more Lion Kings. I think.
Well, we're getting a sequel to it.
What are they gonna do?
It's a prequel, technically. It's Mufasa. It's Mufasa's story.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
They already are doing it.
I know.
I think that's what we're seeing. So I watch a lot of Disney Channel with Eliza.
Yeah.
And I've seen cheap 3D. And I think it's easier to do.
Oh, for sure.
And you can just have these models in here. You just do it. And I've seen like well done CG, like the animation and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think animation's going to go anywhere. I'm pretty sure. I would bet.
Do you
a
think it's
lot
gonna take
on it.
off? Like, do you think it's gonna become more popular?
I think we're already
then, or-
seeing it. I think we already see it going. I think movies like Lyle Crocodile have been made for a long time. That's a Disney Channel original movie type thing.
Yeah.
And they just, every once in a while they bring it to the big screens, right?
Yeah.
That's been around for a long time. I don't think it's going to go anywhere because it's a mixture of both. So you can cut costs in some areas, but like also you don't have to train like an actual alligator to do stuff or a person in a costume. You know?
I want that job, by the way. Let me train alligator.
Oh,
please.
no.
But all right, well, hold on. I had it in my head. Now I'm trying to think of where I was going with it. Oh no, I'm blanking.
Say it out loud.
No,
What do you got?
no. I blanked. Man, I choked. No. Filler.
Alright,
Fill it while I think.
So I think we're going to see a lot of again movies like Lyle Crocodile. Not to say anything bad about that movie, but it's probably not going to win like an Oscar.
No.
That makes sense. A lot of that stuff is like filler episodes almost of a show.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting things that, there are people working and like, okay, it's probably just not going to be that level of like Frozen or other movies. But I don't think we're ever going to see the complete death of a style or genre.
Yeah.
I think of movies like musicals that are making a comeback. I think
They
movies
are.
that are like westerns, which it's in the slump right now, but it'll probably make a comeback. Superhero movies are still there, but I'm like, it's gonna ebb and flow in Hollywood. We're gonna see a rise of a certain type of movie, and then it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it could take a long time before that gets there.
It could. I forgot what it was, but us talking about a couple things has sparked another topic in my mind.
All right,
Sequels.
what about them?
Let's talk about sequels. Let's talk about what merits a sequel.
Like
What
deserves a sequel?
What deserves sequel, and what are the merits that need to be checked off? Because I feel like sometimes, let's just be honest, back in the old Disney, if it did good the first time, the sequel was terrible because they passed off to another another company and it was terrible. But
or they'll cancel it and just like, oh, okay,
it went straight to DVD, or straight to DVD,
direct to video,
yeah. So for me, it's like what merits, because I actually think, and like looking at some of our sequels, I actually think some of the sequels have been on par with even better some of the originals. Like I look at Frozen 2. Frozen 2, like to me, I looked at it like I feel like some of the songs were better. I feel like in some not as popular. That will be a big debate.
I got you. Yeah.
I think some of the Frozen 2
it
songs
wasn't as iconic, I would say.
Yes, but Frozen 2 had, like, in my opinion, some better songs. But what merits in your mind deserves a sequel? And we're just talking about live action. We're talking about
I can go with any. All right. I think first thing's box office.
Mm-hmm.
Did it do well at the box office? And that's going to be, I think, one of the biggest things that does it deserve a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Audience reception, I think, is another big thing. I mean, sometimes you get these movies that come out and like, okay, why are you getting a sequel? Like, nobody really wanted that. And then I think sometimes that's even a good thing, because then you can do anything you want. The expectations from the audience are low, and you can bring in something that maybe you wouldn't normally see.
Yeah.
I think any kind of sequel is going to have a bit of pressure on it.
That is true.
A lot of times. What I would say deserves a sequel, and that's, I think some movies needed sequels and some just never got one.
Yeah.
But I would say movies that have more to tell.
Okay.
I think a lot of movies set up for a sequel. Like, oh yeah, you can see, like, they always do that so that way, oh yeah, you can have another
always
movie.
open in book.
But sometimes there's just not more story to tell.
That is true.
I do think of, like, Lion King. You know, that one. That's a tough one to do a sequel to, because there wasn't, like, a ton more. And they did it, but, like, they weren't as good.
Yeah.
And that's why we had the prequel for, like, Lion King 1.5.
Yeah.
So as long as there's an obvious next step for this movie series that you could do.
What movies in your mind, or what series in your mind right now, would you say off the top of your head, it needs a sequel?
It needs a sequel?
It needs a sequel right now. Off the top of your head.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think of movies that have not gotten sequels.
I've got
everything
one.
is a sequel right now. What's yours? You say yours and I'll go.
I think, let's talk about animation for a second.
Okay.
I actually think, which they may have via Disney Plus, but I haven't seen it on box office. I think a Big Hero 6 kind of movie would spark very well. Like, whether it's prequel or sequel, because I still think prequels are sequels in theory, like, you know, because it's a continuation of the series.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, let's just say a continuation in the series. Like, it's sequels,
prequels, sequels. Yeah, okay. I mean, you could do just about anything with that.
So Big Hero 6, I feel like, is a deserving movie.
Well, they got a TV show.
Yes.
A lot of times that happens. Tangled got a TV show. I was surprised Tangled did not get another movie.
I was surprised. I was surprised about it too.
Moana should be getting something. I think
soon. It is.
I've heard somebody told me it was a movie. I thought it was a TV show.
I think they're gonna be following Maui. I think. Or something
I'm
like
curious to see what happens. I think
that's
next.
what they were saying.
And then, like I say, so I look at those movies. I'm surprised. What movie was it? Encanto. I think that one should get should have a sequel. And then I would say, this is throwing back a little bit, Sky High needs a sequel.
Yes.
Sky High definitely needs a sequel.
Or a prequel. I don't care. Like, just, it needs a continuation of the story.
I think it needs to be a TV series. A Disney Plus series.
Bro, that would be...
Like how they did High School Musical, the series.
I saw that.
But, like, I have not watched it, to be honest. But I think...
First season's good.
Okay.
Sorry. Definition of good is subjective.
Yeah.
It was the best out of all of them.
That's fine. Sky High as a series would be good. Diving into, like, High School Musical, the series.
That would be
As
good.
in, you could have, like, you know, a whole new class come in or whatever. So I would set it in the future.
Yeah.
I would have bring in, like, some of the classic characters back in.
I'd actually have him be the dean. Or something like that.
I would have Mr. Boy be like the president, or not president, the principal or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be hilarious.
Yes.
Like Dean from Community.
Yes.
And then I would have, like maybe their kids are going into the school or something like that. I think enough time has passed where we could easily do a series about that.
Yep.
Again, a superhero high school is just like, that's money being printed right there.
Oh, no, it's perfect.
Absolutely. So,
I mean, look at Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And, like, Young Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
Make it happen.
I'll direct it.
I'll direct it. Give me the budget. I'll direct it.
Oh, man.
It'd be a lot of fan love. Like, I'd bring out a lot of cameos. I'd try to bring in, like, a Superman. Like
oh my goodness.
Try to make it in the
Doesn't
Marvel,
even exist
DC.
in the same. Yeah, I was like,
bro,
that'd
be kind of beyond. That would be hilarious. Like, Peter Parker gets invitation.
Oh my.
The storyline's right itself.
All right, let me ask you this.
Okay.
What sequel did not need to happen?
Okay, well, Hunchback of the Notre Dame 2, for sure, off the top of my head, is the first one that did not need a sequel. Man.
That was a rough one.
The quality
they did the
drop
whole
off.
thing again. Yeah.
No, the quality drop off, like, it went from, like, motion picture, like, Academy Awards, to where it looked like I could have drawn
like a Saturday morning
cartoon.
Yeah,
It was worse.
You know what's even worse than that? A Disney sequel? Actually, there's a couple. But the first one that comes to my head, I think that was the absolute worst one, was Atlantis, Milo's Return. Which was actually a TV show that they scrapped and cut together into a sequence movie. It was terrible.
Let's talk about how ahead of time, which I'll get to the series, how ahead of time Treasure Planet was.
Ooh, that's another one that needs a sequel.
Yes.
That does need a sequel.
Treasure Planet does need a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
That is such a great...
Absolutely.
I love
fantastic.
the movie. Okay, so movies that
should not have gotten a sequel. I'm going to go with Frozen.
I think Frozen needed
I think
one.
Frozen 2 was not what it needed. Wreck-It Ralph did not like that sequel either.
It was okay.
There's a theme that they have done recently that I do not like. It's personal.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is it is October 19th.
All right.
So I feel like I can, because we're on the vein of Halloween and horror movies, I think the majority of horror movie genres do not need a sequel.
But they're so easy to make, that's why.
They are, but still, I don't think the majority of them need a sequel, spin-off, or anything like that.
Understand that.
But I was just mentioning that because of the season that we were in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a real one. This one may catch a lot of flack. I actually think the Alien series.
The second one was good, and then went really downhill from there.
I think certain things need a sequel, but then the even continuation on from that's where you need to cut it. I feel the same way about like Karate Kid.
Okay, yeah, that one I can make sense. Like once you get
like Karate Kid,
I think like a coming of age story does not really need a sequel.
No, because they're old. Like
yeah.
now Cobra Kai is a great avenue.
It's a revival almost.
It's a revival.
But it's still technically a continuation of the story, but it's a whole different type of story.
I think Marvel needs to stop. No, I'm kidding.
I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with
They have
Marvel.
to.
I mean,
You've got
nothing
to.
lasts forever. Nothing does. I would almost say Transformers would be another one.
I was fixing to say Transformers as well.
The sequels, I think after the third one, it really did not need anything else.
What do you think about now, granted, I like it because of the guilty pleasure and like the action scene, but like what about
the Barbie movies? Yeah.
Duh.
I've been watching a lot. Eliza has been all about those.
What about
movies.
like things like Rambo and the Expendables?
An action movie, yeah, you can make up anything. Oh, there's a bad guy. Let's go get him. That's easy. You can do it. I'm like, come on. That is a vanity project more than anything else.
I know, but like for me, I don't think some of them don't need sequels. Like, come on, like for real, like the majority of them do not need sequels.
But they can, and they can. I mean, like, I think you get to a point where you do so many sequels that like it loops back around from being bad to like good.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, like we have to like get through all the bad stuff first. So I don't know where that line is at. I think sometimes when you become aware of how bad things are, that you can make it good again.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually a sucker for the old like fighting style movies, like some of the Claude Van Damme fighting movies.
His movies.
You haven't seen any? Well,
not really. I never really got into Jackie Chan movies was what really I grew up. That was action movies.
With Chuck Norris? You like Chuck Norris?
Not that one.
Walker Texas Ranger needs to have a movie.
No thanks. I watched a couple episodes.
The eyes of a ranger are behind you. But you know, they did make a TV remake.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. A lot of TV shows are getting remakes. Oh my goodness. I was thinking like MacGyver, you know?
Oh yeah.
They got a remake. It just is like, yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is not a hot take because I'm not saying it, but certain people would agree with me.
Okay.
This is a hot take for other people. I don't agree with this, but like certain movies like Indiana Jones, like some of them don't need sequels.
That one's dead and buried, and I don't know why it keeps trying to get back up.
And like I think the OG, the first 2 or 3 that they made were pretty good. Even the remake with Shia LaBeouf was pretty.
That was a sequel.
Was
number 4.
Yeah.
We're about to have number 5 and see what happens.
See, I don't know.
You can't. There's a time. When
how much treasure can you find?
Along. It's basically what I wanted Uncharted to be. I mean,
that is true.
Which is Indiana Jones is like, you know, kind of like the original. I say original, but like he's one of the most mainstream like treasure hunters, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
you have like Lara Croft and
Crocodile Dundee.
He's not a treasure hunter.
I thought he was.
No, he wasn't.
What was he? Was he a spy?
No, he was just a guy like so he goes and like rescues somebody out in like the wilderness.
Oh, okay, Australia. I got you.
Kind of thing. Yeah, he's like a survivalist.
Yeah.
I guess would be my best guess on that one.
Wait.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
I forgot. This goes back to the live action adaptation. Clifford, the big red dog.
Or Blue's Clues got one.
They're getting one.
It's
They're
a
getting
movie.
one.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm actually excited about the Blues Clues one. I don't know about you guys. I think.
How do you think you're gonna bring all the Steves back?
Bro, hold on. This just got me thinking.
Yeah.
I thought Dora was a good. Dora.
I know
that
I'm
live
thinking
action
about it.
It was really good.
It was better than it should have been.
Do you know what I think? What made it the best?
What?
Of course, it's naive, but they had mature humor for the audience that it was dictated to.
Oh yeah, like how she kept talking to the camera. And I was like, "What are you doing?
What are you doing?" And then and then they made grown-up jokes with her going to high school. You know, talking about certain social things that teenagers go through, and like she's sitting there, she's like, like just smiling through it.
That I think is like, again, I think that's a good example of like bringing it to like a modern audience.
Yes. They knew their audience. They knew that the younger kids would know who Dora is. They knew that they could play off of that, but then they knew who the actual audience was going to be.
Man. All right. So, okay, going back to the original topic,
okay.
CGI, live action, old and new. I think that's kind of the general theme of this episode is like, all right, where do you stand? Do you think CGI is just as good? Do you think we'll ever get to a point where we're having no live action and it's just CGI?
You're talking about like live action remakes, or
I'm talking about using AI, using computer graphics and motion capture, or even just replicating human interaction, where you could have anybody at any point do anything. So you could have Tom Cruise when he's 80, still like he looks younger and he's doing these action stunts.
I think that'll happen when we are senior citizens. I think it costs too much right now to be able to do that.
I think we're still in the beginning stages of that. But do you think that's what we're going to see?
I think so, because I mean, like, even look at Star Wars Rogue One, Tarkin.
Yeah.
I think he was there.
Has always been, but like they're normally the ones that kind of like initiate. They started off a lot of this stuff. I think we're going to continue to see more and more of it.
I think we'll see a lot of deep fakes.
I think it's going to get really good. I think like where it's like almost indistinguishable.
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
It'll be very interesting to see.
Well, you even look at James Earl Jones signing his rights away to his voice.
Yeah.
That means that if more actors do that, think about how crazy that could be. Like, could you imagine?
It sounds really scary, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of some of that. I'll be honest.
Could you imagine the awards, like the Academy Awards for, like, if the movie wins Best Movie, would the actor deep fake get the?
It would be all technical. I don't think that'll ever happen. I think there'll be too much of a pushback.
No, there will
from actors and everything to actually completely replace them.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
But I do think we'll see more like motion capture type movies
for sure. And I think there'll always be a balance. I think with every renaissance there comes pushback.
Oh, absolutely.
And with every new renaissance comes the revival of something else. So like if there's like you look at Disney, the renaissance of Disney in the 90s. Well, you had like a lot of pushback with real life and live action, all that stuff. Like they really made a push for that. I think they're always going to be competing with each other, for real. I think it'll start being trickled in to all movies, but I think there'll always be that fight between those two.
Okay, all right. Well, let us know what you think in the comments. Email us, whatever. How do you think that it is going to be the future? I think of people listening on podcast. There's no comments on a podcast, not yet.
Shout it out in your vehicle right now.
Yeah.
Scare your baby, or scare your kid, or scare your wife that's right, or your husband right beside you.
And with that, we'll see you guys next time.